Hi, this is Bob Iaccino from TrendyTrade.com and TrendyTrade Pro. Coming to you from Chicago, talking about a little bit about last week's review and a little bit about the preview of this week. Last week was essentially everything was outshone at the end of the week by the geopolitical tension between the U.S. and North Korea, which has kind of calmed down ever so slightly. We had H.F. McMaster's and Mike Pompeo, both intelligence officials, over the weekend, do all the morning shows and talk about war is no closer than it was a week ago. There were actually people out there using phrases like on the verge of nuclear war, on the brink of nuclear war, and this is not really useful. And one of the things I pointed to last week that I can talk to you guys about this week is that gold and the equity markets on Friday were not telling us we were on the brink of any sort of war, let alone nuclear war. Even the invasion of Iraq, the most recent invasion of Iraq that the U.S. did back in 2003, only rallied gold about 11%. Gold was up 6.6%. That 11% rally happened in the course of a month. This 6.6% rally happened in the course of a week. But if you look at gold, it's still in a sideways channel. It has not broken out. It has not made new highs. So essentially, gold is not telling you that anything is happening from a geopolitical standpoint, at least not any hotter than it was the prior week. Now, Bitcoin is rallying like crazy, doubled in the last month, past $4,000 to the US dollar today. And a lot of people are talking about that being a safe haven, but let's get something clear. Cryptocurrencies are not safe havens. They're about scarcity and they're about technology. And ever since the hard fork between Bitcoin and Bitcoin Cash and the improvements in potential acceptability that Bitcoin's been getting or putting into their technology, at least that's what's planned, Bitcoin has rallied, and probably rightly so. Although keep in mind, there's over 900 cryptocurrencies. If Bitcoin's a little pricey for you, there's other things to look at, like Monero, like ETH, like Ripple, like IOTA. There's a bunch of them out there to trade. And I think the price action trading of that is going really well. In terms of this week, we have to keep an eye on geopolitics, but we do have some decent data. We've got German GDP, we've got Euro GDP, we've got UK CPI, and then we've got the FOMC minutes later in the week. We've also got Draghi speaking tomorrow. So there's quite a bit on the block that could affect the markets, but the geopolitics will overshadow it if anything happens. Remember, we've got target dates on some of the things that North Korea said. Most of it's supposed to happen in late August, if it's actually going to happen, but we expect the Chinese to put a lot more pressure on North Korea. We don't think that we're on the brink of any sort of actual physical conflict. We had the violence in Charlottesville. I have to mention it, but I don't think it has any sort of market effect except to again slow down some of the policies in terms of tax cuts that the White House hopes to take care of. We see yields backing up again above 220, and we see the dollar strengthening ever so slightly, but the likelihood of the Fed raising rates has dropped, and that's why those FOMC minutes will be pretty important this week to see if there was any sort of serious discussion about trimming the balance sheet and tightening rates almost regardless of data. The data has not been helping the Fed. The jobs data has been good, but pretty much everything else has fallen off. Speaking of disappointing data, Chinese disappointed on their construction and their retail sales figures today, and we saw base metals fall off. But again, equities right now, as I speak, are up pretty solidly, and the VIX is back below 13. This is Bob Iaccino coming to you from Chicago for TrendyTrade.com and TrendyTrade Pro.